Friends, Cowboy Jobu here at the Jobu Report. As you've probably heard by now, Chip Kelly has been fired. Let's go to the
end of the fast-paced offense in Philly.
That's right. Breaking news out of the city of brotherly love. After nearly 3 full seasons, Chip Kelly has been fired. After back-to-back 10-win seasons, Kelly dismantled his roster and built it back up with very disappointing results. Philadelphia currently 6-9, out of the playoff picture. Offensive coordinator Pat Shurmur will be the interim head coach for the Eagles' final game on Sunday against the Giants. Kelly made a lot of controversial decisions in Philly. A lot of good players left under his tenure, including Deshaun Jackson, Jeremy Maclin, Sean McCoy, Brandon Boykin. The players he brought in haven't been great. DeMarco Murray has been a disaster. Byron Maxwell has struggled. Nelson Aguilar has 21 catches, and Mark Sanchez and Sam Bradford have not been that great either.
All right, Louis Riddick now joins us, our ESPN front office insider. Louis, what was your reaction to the Eagles firing their head coach, Chip Kelly?
A little bit of shock because of the timing of it with one game left. You know, I've heard people say, well, that gives them an advantage and a head start. Well, if you think there really hasn't been a head start as far as looking for a new head coach, then you don't really know how this process works. This isn't something that kind of happens on a whim and then they just kind of go, oh, let's get together and start looking at potential coaches and potential front office people to replace a guy like Ed Manowitz. So this is something that's probably been in the works, something they've been thinking about doing. It's a little shocking because this isn't typically Jeffrey's MO, but considering how much of a failure this season was, not only from the record to not winning the division, to it's kind of the way they've lost, it's kind of how some of the players that he got rid of have gone on and had successful careers, careers at other places, haven't really spoken very highly of them once they left. And it's, you know, the players that they brought in, man, not only did they not perform well in this system, but it's it's also the money that they paid to some of these players that's just not going to sit well with an owner and his hard-earned money. They don't like burning money like this. They didn't become rich because people blow their money. And that's all that stuff is just a very volatile mix, and that's how you can have a decision like this.
Yeah, well, you know this Eagles front office very well. You were working for Jeffery Lurie at one particular time. Now, given the fact of how much power he gave head coach Chip Kelly, what example does this now give other owners in the NFL?
Well, what example does it give other owners? I mean, I would never fault an owner for going ahead and giving a coach power and giving him say over the roster. I mean, there's other coaches that have it, and there's other coaches that have got it who came in from college. And, Jimmy Johnson, although, you talk about it back in his Dallas days, really built the roster with Jerry Jones. I mean, Jimmy pretty much constructed that roster down there. So I think that what it gives other owners, what it teaches other owners, though, is this. From a bigger picture perspective, no matter who has the power, the coach and the primary team builder and the scouting department and the coaching staff, the whole football operation has to be in lockstep and in unison. There has to be a system of checks and balances to make sure that you are getting the right evaluation on players, establishing the right dollar value on players, and having a very clear-cut plan for developing and implementing those players, especially when you get rid of players that have been very popular in an old system with an old regime, that have been very popular in a city like Philadelphia, because people are going to be looking to say, hey, look, they're going to be looking at it like this. If you get rid of those players, you better have a good alternative that is as good or equal to them in the overall grand scheme of things, which really translates to you better produce with whoever your new players are. Because if you don't, we're going to start deconstructing everything that you've done, and you're going to wind up having to answer for it, and that's what has happened here. The point isn't that he got rid of a bunch of players. The point is the players that he brought in his program failed, and they didn't win, and that's why he's not there.
Well, 6-9 doesn't cut it for the Eagles as of right now. That's Louis Riddick on the latest on the Eagles firing their head coach, Chip Kelly.
Why did the Eagles fire him today?
Well, that is the big question. It's shocking, the timing. Clearly, changes were in the offing. After the game on Saturday night, I talked to a senior official with the team who said that Jeffery Lurie was extremely displeased with what was going on with the team. And Lurie is a very deliberate, very patient guy. but he was clearly losing his patience rather quickly with the situation here with the Philadelphia Eagles. It's pretty clear that they've had discussions about making changes. The question is, why did it happen right away? And the answer lies in the fact that it's pretty clear that Jeffery Lurie, if he was going to fire Chip Kelly, wanted to have an opportunity to interview assistant coaches who would be available to talk. Assistant coaches like Sean McDermott, the defensive coordinator of the Carolina Panthers, who will be available during the bye week.
As you know, Eagles fans are known for being very vocal, very hot-headed. Back-to-back 10-win seasons, a division title. Then this year he goes 6-9, but he's still 5 games over 500. Why isn't that good enough for the Philadelphia Eagles?
Well, there hasn't been progress this year. Clearly, the defense is going in the wrong direction. The offense only has 21 passing touchdowns. Last year they had 27. So they've been going in the wrong direction. And there was an obvious disarray within the locker room with DeMarco Murray talking to the owner on the team plane on the way back from Foxborough. That didn't go over well. Clearly, there were some issues within the locker room, some divisive issues, some polarization caused by the direction of the team, and it had to be addressed. The question is the timing. And it sounds like Chip Kelly and Jeffery Lurie didn't see eye to eye on the next direction of the team, whether it was Chip Kelly holding on to control of personnel and just keeping the job as head coach or not. But Jeffery Lurie decided to move in another direction rather quickly so that he could interview other head coaching candidates. And he said as much in a letter to the fans, where he said that Executive Vice President for the team, Howie Roseman, who lost in that power struggle with Chip Kelly at the beginning of the year, he will lead the search along with Don Smolensky, the team president, for a new head coach of the Philadelphia Eagles, and that search will begin immediately.
Wow, who thought that Chip Kelly would fail in Philadelphia? Well, actually I did. You can't bring in that many different players with injured backgrounds and think that you can mesh them all together and make a winning team. I'm Joe Boo. Thanks for watching, and be sure to click subscribe so you can get more of the Joe